winning championships, and I don't look at the beginning of the year and just say, hey, I want to win X amount of tournaments. I want to win, whatever it is. I don't do that. I have dreams and aspirations that I think about, but at the end of the day, when I wake up and to practice, I feel like what motivates me is just getting out and getting to live out my dream. I get to play professional golf, and I feel like I'm called to do it to the best of my ability.
The Kansas City Royals.
Line by Caglione, and the Royals are going to get two anyway. Jack Caglione with 2 outs, doubles in Pasquantino and Salvi, and the Royals lead 3-0 in the 4th inning.
Hey, that's the opposite field swing we've been waiting to see. Pitchers are wearing him out away because he tries to pull them, and those are easy toppers. They're outs. But right here, he kept his hands inside of that ball. 93, good hitting speed and great swing.
And that's ripped to the gap in right center field and is going to go all the way to the wall. And Jonathan India will drive in 2. And the Royals have a 5-0 lead in the 5th inning.
106 exit velo off junk. What a nice swing.
Well, he did exactly what he needed to do. That's hit the ball the other way. We talked so much about when hitters get things going, they're using the entire field, and it's great to see that from India.
Salvi hooks it into the left field corner and off the top of the wall and gone. And for Salvador Perez, that is 6 home runs over his last 10 games.
Well, we opened our show looking for a bus driver, and Salvi was one of the top candidates. And he continues to really attack that baseball with his barrel. Perfect swing, 15th on the season.
Up the left field line, and Rave is there in foul territory.
Kamehameha!
And I don't know what you were so worried about. We had him all the way.
Yeah. Woo, I can breathe now, and so can we. All right, get on the bus, forget about us.
Well, he throws a ton of strikes. He never walks anybody. So being ready to hit, I think the first time we probably got a little anxious, tried to do a little too much. There was good carry on his fastball, and we know that. But until you see it that first time, it's a different pitch with 20 inches of carry. So they had to be ready to get on top of it a little bit more, and I think they did that the second time around. 2 out, 2 RBI double, backbreaker, motivator for us, momentum for us, backbreaker for them a little bit. You're hoping to get out of the inning there if you're them, but for us to be able to put up a crooked number there was enormous.
Are you ready for some football?
Chiefs.
All right, welcome back. Great to be back. Missouri Western State University, man. We love this place, and it's a great place to have training camp. We appreciate all the people and the jobs that they do for us here. They roll out the red carpet and again, take care of us like no other. So we appreciate all of that, and we look forward to getting this camp going. As far as any of the injuries go, I can update you real quick. PUP, the people that will start on PUP, Fulton will start on PUP, Jawan Taylor, and Trey Watson. So those 3 will start there. Everybody else is good to go, and we should be ripping and ready by tomorrow. So we jump right into it with the testing tomorrow, and then we have meetings, and both business meetings for the NFL and also meetings for the football part of it. Other than that, we look forward to the season getting started. It should be a great environment up here for learning and for conditioning with the heat that we're going to have, and we normally have up here. So it should get us ready and build a nice foundation for us to start the season. As far as Rasheed goes, I mean, that's obvious news out there. Now, we're going to progress as normal with him. He'll go in and take all the reps that he'd normally take, and we always rotate that position. So depending on what happens here in the future, whoever needs to play will be able to step in. They'll know what they're doing and be in good shape to do it. So, but we're just going to, like I said, just progress as normal. Other than that, time's yours.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Today we use our indoor voices. I won't be ranting and raving and yelling, at least not yet. because I'm inside a hotel room at the Stony Creek Hotel and Conference Center in St. Joseph, Missouri. And so at least till I feel comfortable, although I shouldn't, because when I was trying to go to sleep, there were kids running wild up and down the hall and making lots of noise well past the 11 o'clock hour. And so I don't think I should really worry about being too loud, but I am courteous. And so indoor voices, at least until I feel comfortable, until I hear those kids running up and down the hall again, ready to go to the pool. And so maybe for the first hour and a half, a very, very seductive bedroom voice will host this show. Very, very calm, very measured. Just a nice, soothing morning show right now. How does that sound, guys? Do I sound okay? Can you hear me? Oh, really? Not all at once. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, I'll answer. I thought since Todd's co-hosting, Todd should be probably the one to answer that question.
Did I not just ask a question?
You did.
And then nothing. Is he in there?
Yeah, he's in
there. Yeah, we had that same button pushed. We got to find out that's happening.
Who's turning the off-air signal on?
Yeah, I was listening in 7-second delay. Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
Well, I just told you.
I know. So. I heard it 7 seconds after you said it. Right. Now we're caught up, buddy.
Let's discuss that. Who's doing this?
I'm gonna look into it. I'm guessing it has something to do with the sporting broadcast and probably checking the air sound after.
I mean, it's really my fault, but why is it?
That's
switched?
not your fault.
It shouldn't be switched. But.
No. Let him accept responsibility if that's what he wants to do.
That's my board today. I should be checking it and making sure everything is.
We'd like the board to be left the way it should be, though.
Yeah, you're right.
That's right.
Comparative
that's right
fault,
also.
we call. We call it comparative fault.
Or if you change it back. Change it back.
Right. Change it back. That's what I
so
say.
Confused. Like when we went on the air, Jake said, Todd's ready. And I talked to Todd. There's no Todd. Like, Todd's not ready.
No, I was ready just 7 seconds after you said it.
Okay.
It's weird.
Back to the original point. Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound good. It's loud enough.
Fine.
And I think what you're going to be is like the sunrise. You know, you're going to start soft and just on the horizon. And by the show getting underway here a little bit, you'll be high in the sky, melting everyone.
Also, you must understand, a very interesting and wonderful dynamic starts this show. A very beautiful lady by the name of Susan is just a few feet away from me, but that could turn into a ball of anger if I don't let her sleep. And so we're
would have helped
right
if those kids last night in the hallway would have let her sleep too, huh?
Well, no. She goes, "Do you hear those kids?" I said, "I do hear those kids." You know, it's like asking, "Do you hear that buffalo stampede?" Yes, I do. I heard them. But right now we're in a very good place. We slept in a wonderful bed. We enjoyed a good night out in St. Joe. The girls are in a separate room, and so that's a very wonderful occurrence. And so God only knows what they did down the hall, but we told them, you better not leave the room. And so lots of TikToks, I'm sure lots of giggling, lots of phone calls. And so I'm sure they're having a blast. But
did you set you put a little piece of tape on the outside of the door when they're in there, and if you come out in the morning and the tape's broken, you know they've left.
That's right.
Susan's really disappointed because she said normally when she listens to 810, she likes to have the ability when she hears my voice to change the station.
Can't now.
But now she can't now. She keeps reaching up in the air and just turning an imaginary knob.
Phantom dial.
Still it won't work. I won't go away. Here I am. And so
we're easing our way into camp. The Chiefs are easing their way, and you're easing your way into it. It's what we got, you know.
Right. She said, "Do you normally talk this much during your show?" I said, "Yes."
She wouldn't know.
Yeah. Now she's saying, "Shut up and stop talking about me." But I love her, so I can't get her off my mind, even when I'm working. And so, yes, I did arrive in St. Joe yesterday.
I heard it rained.
So it rained. It was interesting because it just barely sprinkled when I was leaving Kansas City. And then when I got on the highway, and by the time I got to Platte City, it started raining hard. It was a pretty good storm coming up here. And so and then by the time I got up to St. Joe, maybe 3:15 or so, it was all good. And then, because I was like, damn it, I don't want to have to check in and carry everything in the rain. And so the weather cooperated, and pulled up, checked in, carried all the stuff in, because I drove separately from the girls. They came up a little bit later because I had to be up here for the Andy Reid press conference. So got checked into the rooms, and then headed over to the Bloom Student Union on the campus of Missouri Western State University, and checked in with the rest of the media. And then we waited while our friend Bethany from Sports Radio 810 headed over to the parking lot to try to get some video of players arriving. And the first player was rookie defensive end Austin Gelati, and he was out there signing autographs and taking pictures with about 20 kids. And so it's always fun to see rookies arrive at their first NFL training camp before they get jaded and before they consider this a grind. I mean, he's all fired up, but he was out there, and I saw his mom retweet the video and say that Austin always has time for kids. Well, he did yesterday, and so that was cool. If you were one of the lucky kids that was camped out there waiting for players, you probably got an autograph and a picture and a nice conversation with rookie pass rusher Austin Gelati. So that was good to see. And then just around 5 o'clock or so, we met with Andy Reid outside of Scanlon Hall, and he spoke for about 11 minutes, and you heard the intro there as part of our intro when he took the bull by the horns and he addressed Rashee Rice before we could ask any questions. I asked a follow-up question about that. We'll hear that. Maybe we'll play the press conference in its entirety at 6:30, and then if we want to play it again later, we could do that because it is the first day. It is Andy's first comments of training camp, and I want to play him, so that's why I was up here. And so and then there was a picture that circulated that I posted also. Matt McMullen, who's a reporter for the Chiefs, took a picture of me and Todd. I know you're very, you mentored me as a youngster when I first started in this business. You always told me to position myself close to the subject, and so I can get our mic flag up there and get my microphone to get good quality sound. And so I did just that. And then Matt McMullen posted a picture that looked like I was extremely angry at Andy Reid. I'm not. That's just my resting bitch face. That's just me.
You're listening
locked
intently.
in.
Yeah.
Look, when you see that, I'm locked in. It's a laser-like focus, listening to what Andy has to say, because based on what he says, that might spark a response or a follow-up. And then there was another picture that Bethany posted that looked like Andy was very angry with me. And you could just see my arm and holding the 810 mic flag, and somebody posted under there, that must be Todd Leabo he's glaring at. And so, no, it wasn't.
Not
it was me. No, but he was just locked in, and then he kind of told a joke, and he hit me in the arm to try to,
Yeah.
he didn't do this, but you know how sometimes Jake will walk
What do
around.
you think of that? Yeah.
No, Jake will do the old sack tap.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, back of the hand flip.
Yeah. But he did. I was holding my
your precious
phone,
equipment. Hope you didn't drop
phone and the microphone. And he goes, because I asked him, I said, hey, there was reports about George Karlaftis signing a long-term deal. What's that mean to the organization to sign a guy like him? And he was, kind of laughing because it wasn't, it was just reports, right? And so he got some breaking news here, and he kind of, gave me the old flip in the hand. But had a good grip.
The old take a bow.
That could have been a disaster, though. But no, he didn't. He hit my hand holding the equipment.
You had a good grip on it, though. You're strong.
If I didn't, then it would have been everywhere, and that would have been a disaster.
That would have been a funny video.
Oh, I don't want to be. I don't want to be part of that kind of video. But it was good. Andy looked good, looked ready. Everyone's fired up, and so that was what happened yesterday. And we'll play that press conference for you in the next segment. And then today there's nothing. And so there was going to be a press conference with Mark Donovan today, but they moved that to tomorrow at 8 a.m. And so today, no activity as the players arrive. Today's actually fitness testing, and they're going to see where all these players are at.
And you don't have to do that, right?
No,
okay.
No, that he does not need to see where I'm at as far as physical fitness. I don't care to see where I'm at either. I'm in St. Joe's where I'm at.
It's a good time to check out, kind of where you are.
Right. But know that there will be players, especially some select rookies, that will vomit today.
Yes. Today is throwing up day.
And Andy likes that because Andy is always, we're all dreading the heat that could approach 100 this week. But Andy seems, well, this is great weather, great heat, especially for testing. We're going to see where their fitness is. So Andy's not upset about the high temperatures because
will they be testing Leabo's fitness?
Man, boss, these wind sprints are on the lot are getting me in shape for the big sale. And these arms are ready to sign some deals.
Can't that be corrupt?
No.
I mean,
come up here and do it.
Of all the carts that we have that have been corrupted,
come up here and run.
That's not in the carts. That's in the Jake Gutierrez folder.
That's a special
cool
edit folder.
That's a special guy.
So tomorrow at the football stadium, they'll have Mark Donovan at 8 a.m. And so then I'll leave the show probably at 7:15 or so to head over there. And then after Mark Donovan speaks, they'll have practice, and I'll be watching practice, and that'll start around 9:15 or so. And that's for season ticket members only. And so it's not open to the public. You have to be a season ticket member and be invited. I don't know how they do it, whatever. And then I'll get interviews. So tentatively, they said, the plan is to have Andy and Patrick Mahomes and George Karlaftis and Trey Smith available.
Those would be big names to
practice.
Talk to, yeah.
They said that's the plan, but it's
always tentative.
That's a big Tuesday right there, isn't it?
That is. A lot of news in that one.
Yeah.
Got those contracts done.
Lots of juicy money talk in that group right there.
Were you surprised?
Rasheed Rice was not one that they made available.
No, they're not going to do that right away here. Were you surprised they got Karlaftis done?
No, because Pretty Ricky.
That's right.
What's our guy? Ricky
Slick
Scoops. Slick Rick. He told us that was going to happen 3 days ago.
Slick Rick Scoops.
What's Slick Rick saying about Trent McDuffie?
You didn't say anything about Trent McDuffie.
No, there you go. That's right. That's the one that's going to be a while, I think.
Well, I think it was Nate Taylor yesterday. There was a report from him saying that now, this is pretty obvious. They all focus on Trent McDuffie now, right?
Yeah, it's the last one of the three.
And so let me ask you this. Let's throw this out there to you. We all agree. We all would like to see Trent McDuffie signed to a long-term deal, yes?
I would. I think he's a really good player.
All right. And the Chiefs would like to get something done before the season starts. That makes sense, right?
Right.
Okay. What if McDuffie is saying, or McDuffie's camp is like, yeah, we can get something done before the season starts. Go ahead and look at that Sauce Gardner contract. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's what it'll take to get something done before the season starts. What do you say?
Can they afford that right now with the cap? Probably, right? I mean, they've gotten these other two things done. That gives them the flexibility. But this is the litmus test. The Chiefs have not done this. No.
You signed him to the Sauce Gardner.
No, they probably. I don't think they will.
Do you? Would you pay him that money?
I asked you, Todd.
No.
Why?
It's too much. Too volatile a position.
Jake?
I think I'm with him. I don't think I paid it. I don't think I reset the market. Look, you have two uses of the franchise tag on him. I mean, that's 3 years of control.
Look, here's the deal. Let me not to oversimplify this, but the market for McDuffie has been set. You know, it's Sauce Gardner signing that it's been set, and however you feel he is in relation to Sauce Gardner, so there's not much haggling room there. We know what it's going to cost, and it's going to be a lot. With Karlaftis, I think by jumping on him now, I think they save money.
Absolutely.
Because they got into a time where really the market's a little bit fluid for edge rushers. And I think if they would have waited on him, then it would have cost them a lot more. And I think they feel and this is not anything I say here has nothing to do with Trent McDuffie. This is just George Karlaftis. Number one, they feel very, very comfortable about his floor. Very high floor, very low risk because of the person. They like the person. They think he is tremendous in the locker room, which he is. They love the work ethic. That, you know, one of the things that we talk about when players are, you know, eligible for an extension, or when teams talk about extending players, we talk about what goes on the field, but you're also investing in that player and what he does off the field. Are there any red flags? Is this someone that we feel is going to continue to work at a high level once he gets paid? George Karlaftis checks all those boxes in on the positive side. They feel that the kind of guy he is, and they know him well, that he's his tremendous work ethic. He's not one of those guys that they feel that could get, I don't know what else, fat and happy or be affected by getting a big contract and not work as hard. They don't have that fear. He's a very high floor guy, high motor guy, tremendous work ethic, great in the locker room. And so they feel very comfortable investing in the person, right? And so because you've seen how good he is, and you've seen the kind of guy he is in this locker room. And on top of that, look, FAU was a first-round pick because an edge rusher hasn't panned out. It's not they've Amani Hugh came in and he's either battled suspensions or injuries and hasn't been able to be a consistent performer. When he's been on the field, he's been good, but he hasn't always been on the field. George Karlaftis has been a constant, and yes, he benefits from Chris Jones.
They all
on the
do,
team,
yeah.
But you got to have a guy that will. Okay, say in baseball, if you're going to pitch around somebody, right, you need someone to protect him in the lineup that's going to make that pitcher pay. If you're going to consistently double-team Chris Jones, you have to have someone on that line with Chris Jones that's going to make the offense pay, and that's George Karlaftis. And they work very well together. And he's exactly what Steve Spagnuolo wants in a defensive end. And on top of that, I think that we're going to look at this contract in a year or two and think, oh, this is a really good value. This is based on what other top 10, top 15 edge rushers are making. That's a good deal. Do either of you agree or disagree with anything I said?
I think he signed the deal to make sure he got it done. There's some ambiguity on positions in the NFL, on like an edge rusher, if they're whatever kind of defense they're playing in and all that stuff. And there's some crazy stat. I mean, listen, it's a lot less money than T.J. Watt's getting, right? But it's a lot more money than some other players are getting. So people are like, this is too much money for someone like George Karlaftis because they're just looking at sacks or whatever. Same kind of thing on the cornerback thing. Like Trent McDuffie plays a lot inside. Is that more expensive or less expensive? People seem to think the outside corner is more valuable, so that's what Sauce Gardner kind of plays. So there's some of that stuff in there. I'd like to have them all signed. And I think Karlaftis has been a very pleasant surprise as someone. And everything you said about him is exactly true. So it seems like a win-win. The player gets some guaranteed money. It doesn't, put the Chiefs in a terrible position on other things. It's a valuable position. So it's good, right? I think if they got hamstrung with a cornerback, I think the Jets will probably regret Sauce Gardner's money at some point, but you have to pay the premium position players when they perform well and they're drafted high, and that's the way it goes, I guess. The Chiefs have never chosen to do that with a cornerback. This will be the real test on this. So, I think it's been, like you said, with Karlaftis, good deal for them. We'll have to wait and see what happens on the next one. It was good for both of them. They both get something out of it. And I think it's worked out honestly with Trey Smith too. People are just gonna have to get used to these numbers being nuts, man. The salary cap continues to go up. The numbers are just going to continue to go up, and you're going to be like, I can't believe they're paying a guard, $25 million a year or whatever. It's just how it's going to be.
How old is George Karlaftis? I know this, but how old is he?
I think he's like 24, right? He's
25.
24.
Oh.
Those guys were young when they draft. They loved those first-round picks who were young.
Think about this for a minute. His birthday's April 3rd, 2001. So he just turned 24. And there, I want you to go look. There's like, I think, 14 or 15 guys that were drafted this year that are older than
24,
George Karlaftis.
Yeah. The quarterback from Louisville that went to the Saints, Chuck.
Yeah.
And that's
25
something
years
else.
old.
Yeah.
That's something else that they look at. That this is important too. They're signing this deal with an accomplished defensive end that they trust, that fits into their system, that is already produced, and he's only 24 years old.
Yeah.
That's another big part of it.
They love drafting the young players early. I mean, Trent McDuffie's young too, I believe, and George is young, and I mean Felix is young when they drafted him. You know, that's kind of the way they do, especially on those early picks. They really like that, and it's going to get harder to get those guys because the NIL's keeping guys in college a little bit longer and the transferring, and you're seeing a bunch of old dudes running around college now. Lots of them.
Jake, you like the deal?
Yeah, I think it's a great deal for the Chiefs. I mean, brilliant move in my opinion to get in now because Micah Parsons is going to reset the deal because the Cowboys are stupid for not doing this.
Yeah, last year.
Right? Last year because now Myles Garrett's already been paid, TJ Watt's been paid, and like they're top end. They're resetting the market. They're $41 million.
Parsons is every bit as good as them.
Right, and he'll get at least 38 to 42 million, somewhere in that range. And you know, Karlaftis is going to average out about 23.5, and I think that's about right. I think that's you know, and the fact and like TJ Watt's 31, Garrett's 30, Parsons, you know, he's on the younger side. But
how old is Trey Hendrickson?
Oh, he's 32 and
31.
31. Yeah. He's 31.
And see, you have to think hard about signing a guy like that to an extension.
Max Crosby's deal was $35.5 million. He's 28. You know,
Albert Breer posted the totality of the deal is $105.5 million over 6 years to the Chiefs at George Karlaftis' rights through 2030. That's an average of $17.5 million per year, which illustrates the benefit of doing it early. Trent McDuffie's next, logically, though that one will be a challenge. But this is about timing. They kind of jump the market here, and they get him for a reasonable deal that's going to look even better in a year or two. And this is why when asking, we've been talking about this for the last several months, I'd asked our different insiders, I asked everybody, okay, McDuffie or Karlaftis, who are they going to sign first? And so many people were resistant to them even signing Karlaftis to a long-term deal. But they are in love with the player. And there's something to be said for that fit and durability and, you know, what kind of guy he is, how much they can trust him. He checks every box.
These players want to be Chiefs. That's the thing, too. You know, why wouldn't you want to be a Chief? They win. They go to Super Bowls. They do all that stuff. So this is where they want to be. That's a great combination to have. Young, good players who want to play for your organization because it's top-notch, you know?
All right, so that was the big news coming up here to camp yesterday. George Karlaftis signs an extension to stay with the Chiefs for the foreseeable future. We will come back and play the Andy Reid press conference from yesterday after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. All right, welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's get right to it here. Andy Reid met with the media to kick off training camp yesterday here on the campus of Missouri Western State University. Let's listen to what Andy Reid had to say yesterday.
All right, welcome back. Great to be back. Missouri Western State University, man. We love this place, and it's a great place to have training camp. We appreciate all the people and the jobs that they do for us here. They roll out the red carpet and again, take care of us like no other. So we appreciate all of that, and we look forward to getting this camp going. As far as any of the injuries go, I can update you real quick. PUP, the people that will start on PUP, Fulton will start on PUP, Juwan Taylor, and Trey Watson. So those three will start there. Everybody else is good to go, and we should be ripping and ready by tomorrow. So we jump right into it with the testing tomorrow, and then we have meetings and both business meetings for the NFL and also meetings for the football part of it. Other than that, we look forward to the season getting started. It should be a great environment up here for learning and for conditioning with the heat that we're going to have, and we normally have up here. So it should get us ready and build a nice foundation for us to start the season. As far as Rasheed goes, I mean, that's obvious news out there. Now, we're going to progress as normal with him. He'll go in and take all the reps that he'd normally take, and we always rotate that position. So depending on what happens here in the future, whoever needs to play will be able to step in. They'll know what they're doing and be in good shape to do it. So, but we're just going to, like I said, just progress as normal. Other than that, time's yours.
Any idea as far as the timeline for the punishment handed down from the NFL for Rasheed?
No. No, I don't have anything.
Have you had any conversations with
No.
The length of absence you expect for Fulton and Juwan? Do you expect them to participate up here?
Well, we're hoping that, we're hoping it's relatively fast. So I'd tell you Juwan's probably closer right now.
Andy, you're always come up here expecting the grind. Is there anything you could describe that's different about coming in after losing the Super Bowl and was winning the last two and last year's mindset?
Yeah, no, this part it stays tough. I mean, it's never an easy camp, and there it builds you a foundation that you can bank on. So it's important that the guys come in the right frame of mind. They know that, and they pass the word down to the young guys that they better be ready to go. But that helps us in the long haul.
There's several reports of George Karlaftis signing a contract extension. What would it mean to be able to sign him to a long-term deal for this organization?
Yeah, that would be a great deal. I think that's already done, just so if you need some breaking news. That's a great thing. And he's a heck of a player, and he's done a great job here, and he's profiting from that. And our team also is profiting from him being around. So it's a win-win there.
Andy, what did you see from him late in the season last year? I mean, he's always been a consistent player for me. He was particularly late last year.
Yeah, well, he's a relentless player. I mean, that's what you get with George. He's smart, relentless. You can trust and know he's reliable. You can trust that he's going to be there and do the right things and go 100 miles an hour doing them. So, very well respected that way.
Coach, how do you plan to start with the initial left tackle rotation with Josh Simmons and Jalen Warren?
Oh, Juwan is out for the beginning of it, so we'll just flip those two guys, and they'll work in there, and we'll go from there. So, yeah. But those guys, Andy rotates all those guys anyway. So, yeah.
Coach, for Karlaftis, last week Trey Smith, today Karlaftis, how important was it for you as a coach to have these young core guys locked up for long-term deals?
Yeah, Herbie. I mean, it's great to have, great from a coach's standpoint to have that. The tough job is with each having to juggle all the financial part of it. But we love having that. Continuity is a big thing with your good young players, and Veach has done a real nice job with his group in the drafts, and so. But to sort all of that out, Chris Shea and the guys, they have to work through all of that, the money part of it, and they do a heck of a job with it. So, and it's an ongoing thing as you go. You've got to really have a good feel and a good plan for the future as you do it.
More with Trey, just the guy, 6th-round pick, coming up to that.
Yeah, how great is that? Huh? How great is that, man? 6th-round pick, came in with the lung situation and the blood clots, and was able to work through that. And I mean, it's a great thing that he was able to work through that just for his overall health, football or no football. But to be able to come in and play at the level that he's played at, and that toughness that he brings with it. So he's an aggressive personality on the field. Teddy bear off the field, but aggressive personality on the field, man. He brings it every game.
Andy, can you just give us an overview of what you're going to be looking for at left tackle with that position in training camp?
Yeah, you're going to look for the best guy, I mean, to start with, that can fill in that spot and that we can have a little consistency there. We didn't have that last year, and so let's work at it and see what we come up with. We've got some good candidates for it, and we'll just see where it goes.
Andy, you've always wanted your camps to be hard for a reason. How moderated are they from when you first became a head coach? I know the rules changed a little bit, but I mean...
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been in this with you, so I mean, we've been around a while, so it's way different than when we first got into it. But within the rules, and you're always player safety is number one on this thing. So you don't want to put those guys in a bind, but at the same time, it's a tough sport. I mean, this thing it's tough, and so there's a point where you got to reach down and you got to be able to push yourself through some things, and these camps still do that. It's just at a different level than maybe what it was when I first became a head coach.
And you still feel that late in the season, in a December game, you feel like you can picture how they draw from this
yeah,
time?
Listen, I listen to the players. I mean, that's what I do. I use those guys as kind of the thermometer on things that they tell you. They go, man, I'm glad we did those long drive drills. I mean, they pay off. We hate them, but I'm glad we did them. And they pay off at the end.
Andy, when it comes to Josh Simmons, how much of that are you interested in, just the conditioning part of it, and has he been given the all clear to fully participate?
Yeah, listen, he stayed up here this whole break. He's been here and working his tail off, and so it looks like in the way he finished phase 3, but it looks like he's ready to go. And we'll keep an eye on him and see where he's at. But his conditioning was good when he was out there, and he seems to be a worker. So we'll just have to see. He's never been through one of these, so we got to see how it goes.
We always ask of the players, what they bring. As many years as you've come here, what are you starting to bring, or what different do you bring when you come to camp and stay here in the dorms?
It seemed like I brought less this year, so I don't know. Maybe Schrapp took care of me. I don't know. So I felt like I didn't bring very much. They've got all the shorts and everything for us, and that's all you wear up here.
Andy, is the first team meeting tomorrow? Is that right? With
Yeah.
the guys reporting?
Mm-hmm.
Is given you've had some time to think about it, is there a certain message you want to start training camp with for the guys?
Yeah, I'll hit them with that first, Nate. But it's always expectations are always high, and that's a plus. And the guys that have been here have earned that right to have it that way. And but at the same time, you've got to maintain that and even strive to be better. I mean, the AFC West is a tough conference, and it's not getting any worse. That's for sure. I mean, these guys, it's good coaching and they've got good players, so just that alone is a great challenge for us. And so here we sit, and we have an opportunity to put ourselves in a position to make ourselves better every day that we go through this thing. So let's do that.
Just considering how last year went for Hollywood and missing most of the years, how important will this camp be both for him and Ted Worthy, and to have both your burners on the outside and the
Yeah, sure. No, that it'll be great to have them out there. Yeah, when they were together out there last year, that was for camp, for the part of camp that they were there. That was a positive for us.
3 more, Herbie, go ahead.
Coach, specific to the left tackle position, I think it's been more than a decade since you're entering training camp with an actual battle at that position group since you've been here. Do you find yourself having to place a timeline on when you would expect or you want to see someone emerge, and then that'll be your guy going forward?
I think by the time you get out of this thing, you'd like to have an idea who that is, right? You want to have a feel on it. So we evaluate these guys every play, Herbie, for whether it's a light practice or a hard practice. They're evaluated. graded and so on. So we'll see how it all sorts out.
Stephen? How does the fact that left guard has a battle also affect, because you'd like to have the two starters work together some before the season starts, so how does that affect the dynamic that both of those spots are open right now?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. These are young guys that are going to get in there and compete, and I think that's a positive thing. And we're going to come out with somebody that's a good player, so I'm good with it. Yeah.
Last one, Sam. with Rashid, you said you expect him just to still take as many reps as he normally was, but I also just wonder, based on last year's injury, obviously, too.
We'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, saying we'll keep an eye on that part. But as far as pulling back because of suspensions or whatever that whole thing is, then we're going forward with it, and then we'll monitor him as far as the injury goes.
But he came out good from the summer.
Yeah, he did. He did a great job during the off-season program too.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We will also mention that the Royals got a win 7-4 over the Marlins and avoided the sweep. And so even though they got the win, still disappointing that, especially Friday.
What happened Friday?
They lost 8-7 in 10 innings, and Carlos Estevez blew the save.
Was Drake sending you messages?
Yeah. I mean, you guys root for his demise.
No.
And root for the Royals' demise. And that's, hey, look, if that's the way you want to position yourselves, okay, dig in. Now, the Yankees have been rumored to be interested in Estevez, and I'm always a supporter of flipping relievers.
Yeah.
Because they're very volatile. And if they can get any type of prospect or anything of value for Estevez, you do it. Now, Urseg, no, because Urseg is
control and all that, yeah.
Several years. And so I got no problem with them flipping Estevez, but they better do it because he's struggling right now. But the Yankees, they can sometimes give up things that they shouldn't for players because of the tremendous pressure they have to win.
I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
So go ahead, and if it tickles their fancy, go ahead and trade them Estevez. But a very, very disappointing loss on Friday. After John Rave hit a couple of home runs and they had dramatics and everything else, they lose 8-7, and then just really another disappointing loss on Saturday, losing 3-1. So they come back, win against the Marlins 7-4 yesterday. Now this sets up what should be a fun series to watch, at least fun aesthetically. I don't know how much fun it'll be because the Royals are going up against one of the best teams in baseball this year, the Chicago Cubs. Royals at Wrigley Field. Cubs are 59-40 right now, and so you get a chance tonight. They were playing on MLB Network, and then tomorrow night, Game 2, and then Game 3 will be an afternoon affair at Wrigley Field. And then the Royals will then come home for a very important series against the Guardians. And then we'll see the Atlanta Braves also. So some interesting matchups over the next week or so. We get to see the Royals and the Cubs and the Royals against the Braves. But it doesn't really matter if they keep losing series. They lost that series to the Mets before salvaging the final game before the All-Star break. And same thing here. They lose the first two games to an improving Marlins team. And then they win Game 3, but that's not enough. You keep losing 2 out of 3, you're digging the hole deeper, and they're right up against it right now.
Yeah,
they have to make their move.
They have. Last year the 86 games got into the wild card. I don't think that number is going to be 86 this year. I think you're going to have to win more than that, right? I mean, there's several teams with a little over 500 records. I'll be surprised, but to get to 86 wins, they're going to have to go 38-24. It's 14 games over in these next. They've played exactly 100 games now. Nothing about this team looks like they're going to go 38-24 to get to 86 wins.
Nope, doesn't seem likely. Doesn't seem likely. And if you go to the headlines at Royals.com, time to play better baseball. Royals aim to stay in race as trade deadline looms. So they know it. The trade deadline is July 31st. And they're trying to stay alive enough to where they don't sell and they actually go out and add something more than Adam Frazier. Jonathan India said, we know it's time. It's time to play better baseball. We can't be like, oh, my God, we've got to do everything, but we need to play better baseball.
Absolutely have to.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like all – and what they've fallen into – they scored some runs this weekend, right? I mean, they scored 7 in a loss. But then they had the day where they got 1. That's just not going to do it, you know. And they, unfortunately, right now look like a team that is just likely to lose 8-7 as to lose 3-1.
They're 48-52. They're 5.5 games out of a wild card spot. I mean, they really couldn't afford to lose this series to the Marlins, and so now it's just The margin
and as you mentioned,
is just about gone.
If we haven't paid attention, the Cubs are very good, and the Cubs are in a battle. The Brewers have won 10 in a row. They're tied with them, so these are huge games for the Cubs because the Cubs are looking at the Royals come in. Well, we can't lose games to the Royals; they're no good. You know what I mean? The Royals are that team that everyone else is looking at. Go, well, why can't we beat them? So,
wow,
big weekend or big week. I mean, the trade deadline's coming, but I just don't know what they can do to make them look like a team that can go 14 games over in the last 62.
We will take a break. Back after this on WHB. Hey, how much time do I have?
I couldn't care less about the team struggling.